Hello, and thank you for watching this regional forecast update for the southern U.S. I'm Andrew Pritchard, Senior Meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. I'm going to hit you with the satellite picture here, as I often do first thing on Friday morning. We're looking at high pressure across the midsection of the country, bringing a lot of sunny skies all the way from Texas and Oklahoma east into the southeast, where we've got broken cloudiness here, some peaks of sunshine between the high-level clouds as you make your way into Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas. As we flip it over and look at the radar picture again, not much going on in the way of precipitation across the midsection of the country. We've got some heavy rain making its way through the Pacific Northwest. We've got some departing moisture here across parts of the Northeast, and then a couple isolated showers as you make your way into coastal portions of the Southeast. But by and large, dry across the southern U.S., dry across much of the lower 48. Temperatures this morning and into the day are going to be continuing to be mild across the southern U.S. We'll continue to enjoy mild conditions through the weekend into early next week, and those conditions will continue to be mostly dry across the southern U.S. into the early part of next week. We're looking at the last 7 days of precipitation. As we ended the last week into the weekend, we did see some of that precipitation departing across parts of the Carolinas and Florida, but by and large, we've been dry, which has been nice over the last over the last 5 to 6 days, as we really needed to dry out and repair from the ice storm across parts of Oklahoma and Texas, and from the heavy rains from multiple tropical disturbances making their way through the southern U.S. So as we look at the next 7 days of precipitation, again, we're going to keep it mostly dry over the next several days, but especially as you make your way into the southeast, we'll talk about a couple opportunities for some rainfall as we get toward the middle and later part of next week. Now, as we look at the hazards map here Friday morning, quiet across the southeast. We've got the latest from the National Hurricane Center on what is Tropical Depression Eta as of Friday morning, expected to re-intensify to a tropical storm. Potentially by the time I get this video uploaded, it seems like that happens time and time again. I give an update here, and then by the time I have it uploaded, there's an update on our tropical system, but it doesn't really matter that much. It'll be Tropical Storm Eta as we head through Friday into Saturday, as this thing makes its way toward Cuba, gets toward the southern tip of Florida as we get into Sunday night and Monday morning, bringing some rainfall to that region as it then meanders back over the Gulf, and then likely will make its way into parts of the Florida Panhandle, arriving across the Gulf Coast, and then bringing some more rainfall into the southeast as we get to the end of next week. We'll talk about what that looks like here in a moment, but we'll be talking about Eta for the better part of the weekend into next week as well. Now, here's the jet stream pattern as we get started on Friday. And again, much of the stronger jet stream winds, the activity well off to the northwest. That's why we've been quiet here. Very little upper level support for anything and being dominated by high pressures, keeping us pretty quiet and pretty mild across the eastern third of the country as we head into the weekend and get started with next week. Now, here's the jet stream as we head into Sunday night and Monday. We're going to be watching this first wave. This first piece of the trough lifts into the Dakotas, bringing a winter storm to parts of Montana and the Canadian prairies. The second piece ejects across the central plains, bringing a chance for some snow to the Corn Belt, parts of Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin. The chance for some strong storms, potentially Tuesday afternoon and evening across the Midwest, parts of Iowa, Illinois, and Missouri. This one also quickly lifts northeast, not really impacting the south too much until the cold front kind of gets stalled out from the Carolinas back to parts of Alabama and Georgia, where we could keep some rain and thunderstorm activity going. And then here comes Eta. This is when Eta finally gets picked up by the southern branch or the southern leg of this trough as a third wave comes around the base of it here Thursday into Friday. And this is what helps kind of drive Eta out of here. We've even got a fourth piece. It's kind of in steps here. The first piece, second piece, third, and then fourth here, kind of ratcheting this trough downward across the southern plains. So what that does with the precipitation, we'll go ahead and jump in and look at this. As the ridge here across the southeast slowly pivots off to the east, we could start to bring some coastal shower and thunderstorm activity into the picture here by Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, from Louisiana into Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. And again, this will be very isolated, very scattered in nature. This could be the same thing that happens here Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. Very disorganized, widely isolated shower and thunderstorm activity. We're seeing some of the lighter green shading showing up there. This is Monday now. Eta is passing to the south of Florida, bringing some of its rain and thunderstorm activity into Florida. We'll then head into Monday night. Tuesday, here comes the second area of low pressure across the Midwest that could bring some strong storms to that region, some snow as well. That continues to drag a cold front, which gets hung up right in this region. So here we go. This is what kicks off the rain event here from the Appalachians down into the Gulf Coast. This is Wednesday now when the rain begins along that cold front. Eta then makes its way into the inland as we get into Thursday night, potentially into Friday. We then see that next piece of energy coming around the base of the trough as we get into the weekend. So we'll hammer out the details on each of these waves of precipitation as we get into some of our forecasts early next week. But just kind of understand that that's kind of the timeline on the transition here is a warm and mild, mostly quiet weekend here across the southern U.S., the exception being widely isolated hit or miss shower and thunderstorm activity during the afternoon and evening, kind of in the coastal areas of the Gulf Coast there, Louisiana over toward the Florida Panhandle. And then we start to bring some rainfall into the picture here, kind of in the circled region there, really getting into maybe late Tuesday, but more Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so as we get into our Monday morning forecast, we should have a better idea on the timing and the intensity of some of that rainfall. But here's the forecast: total accumulated precipitation between now and Sunday evening. Pretty dry across the region. Coastal areas here, and then southern Florida dealing with some rainfall as we head especially deeper into the weekend. But if I add in the total precipitation between now and next Friday, so now we're looking at the next 7 days, the heaviest of which going to favor the Carolinas and maybe northeastern Georgia, and then again Florida that'll deal with some of Eta's precipitation. But then as you head further off to the west, we'll keep it a little bit drier. And in parts of Texas into Arkansas, Louisiana, maybe being completely dry and missed by these systems as they come swinging through. So this is certainly has an east bias, and it's got a late next week bias as we talk about the precipitation. The general theme over the next 3 to 5 days is going to be quiet, mild conditions. Of course, if we're not bringing precipitation in across the west, we'll have to watch and keep an eye on the worsening drought conditions in some of our winter wheat areas across the panhandles, getting into West Texas. And then I just want to finish here with a look at the temperatures here, because we'll be able to watch some of the timing on some of the cold air that's trying to make its way into the south. And I'm already stepping through here. This is into Saturday, getting into Sunday, again, keeping things mild across the central U.S., very mild as you make your way off to the upper Midwest. Not necessarily warmer than it is in the southern U.S., but certainly a more anomalously warm, a higher departure from where we should be this time of year as we make our way off to the north. So here comes the cold front Monday to Tuesday, working its way across the Corn Belt, pushing into Texas and Oklahoma as we get into Tuesday night and Wednesday. But you're seeing what's happening here across the southern U.S. You're wondering, where is the cold front now? The thing is, this cold air tries to make its way in from the northwest, from parts of the Canadian Prairie, from the northwest, from the Rockies, but it just has a real hard time establishing itself. Here comes a second push of cold air Friday into Saturday. This one makes its way a little bit further into the south as we head through Saturday into next Sunday. We're all the way into next week, and I'm talking about 8 to 9 days into the future. But look what happens immediately on the backside. A day after the cold front passes through, we modify that air mass. We're once again unseasonably mild. So my point is, I think that we will see attempts at cold air making its way into the southeast, but I think the overall pattern as we head into the end of November is really going to favor more mild air masses winning the battle here, keeping things overall mild across the southern U.S. So here's the probability of an inch or more of rainfall over the next week. Again, heavily favoring northern Georgia through the Carolinas. This is going to be heaviest across the Appalachian Mountains here, and then southern Florida, you'll have the opportunity to pick up some heavy rainfall, especially Sunday night into Monday as Eta passes off to the south. We'll finish with your high temperature forecast then. 70s for just about everyone today, 80s in Florida. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday, the cold air tries to start making its way in. 50s for the highs across the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas, but still 70s and 80s for just about everyone else.